How's it going, you guys? So if you ask a runner to name any model of Hoka shoes, I bet you most of them will say the Hoka Clifton as the first one that comes to their mind. That's because that's the shoe that took Hoka to the next level and made it a fan favorite. But it's had a bit of a rocky reception the past couple of years. This year, in 2019, Hoka has re-released the Clifton 1 and released the new Clifton 6. But they've also released the Hoka Rincon. It's lightweight, fast, cushioned, and a great all-around shoe. There's enough cushion to it that your feet will be happy no matter the length of the run, and firmness of the midsole is a nice balance. It's not pure marshmallow where you kinda sink in and cruise. It has some firmness in it that allows you to get up on your toes and get some responsiveness. Right off the bat, this shoe reminds me of a couple of Hokas. Obviously the Clifton due to the stack height and just the look design overall. But surprisingly enough, I also found it a lot in common with the Tracer. They both have minimal and breathable uppers, and to me, the softness of the midsole felt very similar, where it was definitely cushioned but also had a nice firmness that allowed for a quick feeling toe off. Although the stack height is pretty much the same as the Clifton, the Rincon definitely feels like a lot less underfoot. I think the minimal sock liner compared to the thick ortholite liner in the Clifton has something to do with it. Okay, so I've already compared the Rincon to a couple of other Hokas, including the racing flat, the Tracer, but the shoe I really want to compare it with is the Mach. This is because I love the Mach 2 as an up-tempo trainer that I use on workouts, races, and regular runs. But I can say the exact same thing about the Rincon, but while they have the same use cases, they're actually quite different. The upper of the Rincon is quite a bit thinner and lighter than that of the Mach 2. It also is less roomy than the accommodating toe box of the Mach 2. This gives the Rincon more of that racing flat fit and feel. The midsole of the Mach 2 is very different. It's a thinner stack height, the dual density ProFly, and it uses a rubber EVA foam mixture. The Rincon has more foam, but it's standard EVA, which means it isn't as durable and doesn't have the same bounce as the rubberized foam. The outsole of the Rincon is pretty much just exposed foam with a few patches of rubber in the forefoot and heel. This adds a bit of traction and durability to those areas. The Mach 2 has no rubber on the outsole and is 100% exposed rubberized foam. But this exposed foam holds up way better than the exposed EVA of the Rincon. This guy has about 3 times the miles on it as the Rincon does, but you wouldn't be able to tell that just by looking at the wear on the outsole. So both the Rincon and the Mach 2 are great up-tempo trainers. For my usage, I think the Rincon leans a little bit more on that everyday trainer side of the spectrum, while the Mach leans a little more towards the racer side of the spectrum. But there's definitely a lot of overlap in both, and that's just my opinion. So if you wanted one that you used for an everyday trainer, but also for workouts and tempos, I think the Rincon would be a great choice. But if you're looking for something to use for long workouts and races and just the occasional training run, I think the Mach 2 would be a better choice for you. So those are just some of my first impressions of the Hoka Rincon and a few comparisons to the Mach 2. I'm putting some more miles on this guy and then I'll have the full review out for you, so subscribe so you don't miss that, and as always, keep on running.